Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Now today's video is going to be very different because I'm going to deviate from beauty to medicine. I really want to talk to you guys about something very important that's going on in the world. You would have heard about it. It is coronavirus. Now, being a healthcare professional and a doctor, I feel like I have a responsibility. I feel like I have an obligation to tell you guys a little bit more about what this virus is, because I feel like there's a lot of myths going around. There's a lot of misunderstanding about the virus and what we should be doing and what we should not be doing. So I just want to make it really clear and let you guys know what it is, what's happening, and how we can help to prevent it. Now, coronavirus is a family of viruses that can affect animals and human beings. The strain that we're talking about now is called Covid-19. It is a different strain to what SARS was. So SARS belongs to that family of coronaviruses, but it is a different virus to what we have now. It's not actually clear where it's originated from, but it was said that it started with a group of people who got sick with pneumonia and really severe respiratory symptoms that was related to a live animal market in China. So even though it originated from an animal to human being transfer of the virus, now the virus is being transmitted from human to human. So recently, the World Health Organization deemed the COVID-19 infection a pandemic. What that means is it's a new virus that people are not immune to, that's been spread from country to country and now spread all over the world beyond what was expected. So as of now, there's been 125,288 confirmed cases all over the world, and there's been 4,614 reported deaths. So this is a very important question because there's a lot of overlap in terms of symptoms. You will get respiratory symptoms like fever, cough, cold, some shortness of breath. Now, the important thing to realize with this virus is that about 80% of people who contract it will have a normal recovery with just supportive treatment. But there's that smaller percentage of people who will be affected a lot more. So the most susceptible population for serious complications are babies, elderly, because they don't have the same immunity as the average population, and also people who have comorbid conditions, so severe immune deficiency, heart disease, blood pressure, and diabetes. So it's said that coronavirus is spread by droplets. So a person with coronavirus or any virus, when they cough or sneeze, with the air that comes out, there's a lot of droplets that we don't see. So if you are nearby and you inhale that, or you get in contact with a surface that has droplets and you touch your face or your eyes or your mouth, then there's a very high likelihood that you will contract it as well. So incubation period is the time between the first contact with the person with coronavirus or the first contact with those droplets up to the point that you first get symptomatic. And for coronavirus, it's meant to be 1 to 14 days. Of course, it varies with everybody, and most commonly, people start getting sick around day 5. And this is the whole reason behind the self-isolation period of 2 weeks. A lot of people wonder why it's 2 weeks, and that's why. If you are fine up until 14 days, then you can come out of self-isolation and be confident that you do not carry this disease. I think the most important thing to realize is that prevention is key. And honestly, there are very simple things to stop getting it, but also to stop spreading it. Number one, wash your hands. Especially if you are in healthcare, make sure you wash those hands as much as possible with soap, and that you put alcohol gel in between if you can't get to a place where you can wash your hands. And this not only applies to healthcare workers, but to everyone in general, because you never know where a person has coughed or sneezed, where the droplets are. It could be, you know, in the bus, on the seat that you're touching, on a bench on the road that you are sitting on. So just make sure that you're really, really careful. Even if you touch surfaces, I mean, you can't really avoid not touching. Just really, really be mindful to not get those hands near your face. So things like this, a hand sanitizer, is really, really important. Make sure that you have one in your bag so that you can just make sure that you sanitize your hands in between. Second thing is, when you come home from work, make sure that you wash your face, you wash your hands, and just, you know, just wash your body. Why not? Especially if you work in the hospital, this is very, very important, because you don't want to be the carrier of that virus to someone that you love. Third thing that you need to do is reduce your social contact. Okay, I'm not saying be antisocial, but just take a bit more precaution. Try and limit hanging out with large groups of people. If you really need to talk to someone, you know, there's phones, there's Skype, there's so much technology that you don't necessarily need to go to a public place to meet someone. And this is the whole concept of social distancing, and it's something that a lot of people are actually taking seriously. Even when you're in a large gathering, just make sure that you're not, you know, closely packed together. You want to make sure that you are away about 1 to 3 meters from somebody else, because even if that person has coronavirus, there's a very low chance of you catching it if you are 3 meters away. Number 4 is, if you are sick with any kind of viral illness, make sure that you wear a mask as you go out in the public. And please, please, when you are sick, I mean, I feel like this is common sense, but a lot of people still don't know how to sneeze or cough. Make sure that you cover your mouth, whether it's a tissue, whether it's your hands. Just make sure that you wash your hands after though. And another clever thing that you can do is actually sneeze into your elbow or your upper arm. So when you're walking by and you feel a sneeze coming, just make sure that you cover your face so that you don't spread all that droplets. This is a very good question. So droplets can, depending on the heat and humidity, a lot of other factors, the time that it can survive on a surface can vary. So it's really hard to say how long it can survive, but generally they can survive from hours to days. So that is why you just need to make sure that you really practice hand hygiene, because you just never know what you're touching. If you are sick, in general, just stay at home, because you don't want to spread it to the other people. Even at home, try and limit your contact with the other people at home, the family that you live with, because even though you might be strong enough and your immunity might be strong enough, the other person might not have that luxury. Of course, staying at home, you won't be able to tell whether this is coronavirus or just a regular flu. So my advice would be to contact your local GP clinic or call Helpline and seek help from them. This is really, really important if you've had contact with someone who's had coronavirus, or if you've traveled to risky regions where the prevalence of this illness is high. The helpline in New Zealand is 0800 611 116. Again, it's 0800 611 116. Now, there's a lot of debate on whether people should be traveling. I know that a lot of people have had to cancel travel plans, including me. There's a lot of things that you need to think about if you are going to be traveling, especially to Europe, especially to Asia. So just make sure that you talk to your travel agent about any travel restrictions that your country has implemented and any restrictions that the countries that you're traveling to have implemented. Depending on where you work, this is something that you need to discuss with your employer as well, because if you have been to a risky country, then when you come back you might have to self-isolate yourself. So just make sure that everything's in place before you go and that you take care of yourself. No, so this is a common question. Viruses don't respond to antibiotics. For viruses, you know, we have vaccinations to prevent it and we have supportive care. That's pretty much it. For this COVID-19 or coronavirus, we don't have a cure, we don't have a vaccine, and a lot of scientists are trying to create a vaccine, but that's going to take up to 18 months or more. So we just need to be really, really careful and do our best to try and prevent it from spreading further. There's a lot of myths out there about what we should be doing to prevent the disease, like eating garlic or drinking bleach. Please do not do them. They are not safe. I mean, garlic is fine, but it's not going to get rid of a virus. So just make sure hand hygiene, hand hygiene, hand hygiene. So I feel like those are the main questions that people would want answered. If you do have any other questions, please let me know in the comment section below and I will try and answer the best I can. This virus, it's not racist, it's not sexist, it doesn't just affect Chinese people, it doesn't just affect Asian people. So stop hating on one another, stop being racist, just look after one another. I hope this has been helpful. I had a lot of questions about coronavirus when it first started coming out, so I just wanted to share what I know so that you guys are well informed. So please share this video with anybody who would like to know more about coronavirus or someone who you think is misinformed and they need some facts. Love you guys as always, and I will see you guys with another video very soon. Bye guys.